We have another guest here, Joe Dela Cruz,
Hello.
who's running for re-election, and he's going to talk a little bit about the election too.
All right, thank you, Peter. More than happy to talk about, and I think the issue is why it's so important to vote. I think we've actually seen that around our country, but especially in our state right now, where we have Bob Stefanowski, who's the endorsed Republican, going against Ned Lamont and hopefully the next Lieutenant Governor Susan Bisowitz. If you look and see the way they plan on fixing Connecticut, on one side, Stefanowski would be saying that he's going to eliminate pretty much, I think it's about 40% of our income by getting rid of the state income tax, completely against tolls. They don't even want to talk about it. And then on the other side, we're looking to a different way, a way where they want to lift up folks like Ned talks about Fight for 15 a lot, bringing families up by raising minimum wage and holding some of those businesses accountable that have relied on resources from the state to help their employees survive in Connecticut. So I think that's one of the big reasons for me to vote. It's also personal to me that you get to know your candidate, and I am a Democrat, but I tell everyone to find out about who my opponent is, find out where they stand, because don't just go into the booth and vote for just any reason. Go to the booth to vote for the person that you think is going to do the best job for you. Myself, I can tell you personally, because I got to work with Christine Conley over the past 2 years, and in those past 2 years, I know how ferocious I thought I was, and how mean I thought I could be to fight for my people in London and Groton, and I think I was beaten by Christine Conley because she really knows how to work the room, work the vote. She did a great job. So it's a lot of folks when they go into the voting booth, and I'm just as guilty. I wasn't sure who my state representative was when I was not involved. I think it's now's the time that we take the time to find out the folks that are going to represent you in Hartford, because I know I've heard some things in Hartford from representatives from all over the state that I'm sure would be very proud of, but I've also heard some folks on the floor say some things that I know would horrify them. Mm-hmm. So I think they really need to find out who they're being represented by, and that's why it's so important. And I thank you for the service you're doing we need to get the vote out and keep talking to folks that to me, my eyes are open. Again, like all the years I had in politics, I didn't follow it. I followed exactly what I was trying to follow through the town budget, and I paid attention to that, and I didn't look any higher than that. We need to look higher, and we need to hold folks accountable that are going to represent us. So, good.
Joe, thank you for everything you do. I know you've had your tough times and good times, but we really appreciate your efforts. You're working hard, and it shows up because you're representing us. Just one note that the candidate for governor on the Republican side hasn't bothered to vote. I think that's really disqualifying, in my opinion. If you don't even bother to vote, why do you think you should run the state? That's just disgusting.
It actually disqualifies him in my mind, and I think we're going to find out in the minds of many. Yeah. I think there's Republicans that again, he didn't do any of the debates. He kind of came in through television ads. So where I think the normal process where he would have been vetted, where a candidate like maybe Boughton would have called him out on the floor in the middle of the debate, and maybe shown some of his weaknesses. He never had to address any of those weaknesses, and he did it all through television. And I think voters, when they start hearing things like that, because I'm sure the folks that voted for him may not have known that. And now that he's the main candidate in the main election, now everything's going to be the light's going to be shined on him, and I don't think people are going to be happy with what they see. I mean, 13 years in a row of not voting. We all know how important it is to vote. So that means to tell me that through his business career, he never even took the time to see what his town council was doing or his board of educations. So it's quite obvious that he wants to get in the game this late, and the way he's talking about fixing it, if he's been in government at all, if you were ever on a town council and think that you can cut your budget by 60% and still survive, it shows you how naive he is, and maybe with good intentions. And for someone that ran a business, sometimes 50 or 60%, sometimes that's doable. Technology worked out certain ways, and you can eliminate people because computers or this or that. Government's a people business, and when you cut something by 60%, people get hurt. And he's going to find that out very quickly, because the money he's talking about taking out of the budget would be devastating in so many different ways: education, Medicare, Medicaid, all the things that that folks care about.
To make that up in sales tax would be a disaster.
And if you make it up in sales tax, nobody from out of state's ever going to come visit us because we'll have a 20% sales tax on our hotels, on our clothes. That's why it's important to me to mirror what other states are doing. That's why I actually push the tolls. We're the only state. We look like an island. If you see the map of states with tolls, it's Vermont, Connecticut, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Those are the 4 states on the whole eastern half of the country that don't have tolls. And right now it makes us put our gas tax at 25 cents, much higher than the states around us. So all of our folks that live on the borders go outside the state to get gas. And anyone that owns a truck knows that for the past 30 years, if you're driving from Boston to New York delivering, you don't get gas in Connecticut. So you have no skin in the game on our roads. I'm the guy that wants to get rid of the gas tax and just collect ways to fix our highways in a different way. And I've been going on and on and on about it. And I ask people, if you have a legislator that's telling you it's illegal and that we lose all of our funding, it is not true. And it's actually hurtful to if you don't believe in something, don't say lies about it. To me, if you don't believe in it, say, yeah, we're not going to lose funding, but I don't believe because of this or that reason. But don't say that we're going to lose all of our funding because it's completely untrue.
Joe, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your words, your knowledge, and your efforts.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. Thanks.
Be well.